What is up, party people? Hope you're doing pretty well. I'm doing fantastic. Today I want to talk about the only thing that really matters, which is living in the wish fulfilled. And I talked a little bit yesterday about how you think from states, not of them. So if you think of a state and you break down a state, what is a state? That's really important because sometimes we can gloss over these like terms, right? And be like, oh, a state, just embody the state, right? But if you don't really have a strong conception of what it is, it's hard to experientially live it every day. So let's think about emotional states. You have anger as a state. You have happiness as a state. If you've ever seen David R. Hawkins' emotional scale, he goes through the whole range of emotions and how it goes all the way from like despair to enlightenment, and all of those in between are emotional states. So states are basically emotional bodies of etheric consciousness. So if you think of like wealth as a state or poverty as a state, people who are in a state of poverty, they may win the lottery, but their state is dominant poverty and they blow like millions of dollars, right? Because their state is impoverished. The state is an emotional cloud or attitude or mood that chronically you are in. Okay. So when you shift a state, what you're really doing is you're not going to war with the state that you're in now, but you're starting to choose to think from the state that you want, that already has what you want. So what fucks up a lot of things is if you think about, I want to be a successful business person. Okay, break apart that phrasing. The implication of that phrasing is that I am not a successful business person and I need to go do some things so that I can be a successful business person, right? I want to be successful. So I'm going to go and make a bunch of decisions and prove myself, and then I will be successful. But if you break apart the actual language patterns of what that's saying and you take it from a now moment computer programming standpoint, as if every single thought pattern and every single sentence that I say is just downloading a direct program into my third dimensional reality that will just reflect itself, you're going to be in a perpetual loop. Because if you strongly identify as the person who needs to become successful, then that's your identity. And no matter how much success you get, you're always going to need more. So the way you get out of that trap, right, that cycle of recurrence, is you do what's called thinking from the end. And there's always evolution, there's always contrast, and there's always growth. So sometimes you can have the thought, or at least I do, when it's like, well, if I go to the end and I get what I want, I'm gonna be fucking bored. Well, there's many different levels to how you can basically operate. So when you get to the wish fulfilled, what you want to do is basically have the experiential trajectory of bridge of incidences leading you to the physical manifestation of what you want, to be one of which you get what you want and are not trying to get what you want, if that makes sense. So basically, I am successful now. Okay, well, look around. No, you're not. Well, I am successful now. What will happen is if you can capture that state and you can operate on faith, which means it's loyalty to an unseen reality. Loyalty to an unseen reality means that your fourth dimensional mind complex, the mind of which you really are, right? You lose your body. Oh no, your fucking mind goes into space or whatever. Your fourth dimensional mind complex is really you, and it is the progenitor of all physical manifestation. So you want to affix that physical mind complex, that fourth dimensional reality, that imagination, and you want to transplant it into the version of you in the state who has what he or she wants, right? He or she wants in the state, having it right fucking now. Everything externalized is a byproduct of old thinking. So it doesn't matter, okay? That process can be difficult because if you've lived your entire life as a third dimensional sense man, as Neville Goddard would call it, where your whole life is exterior and your whole internal is a reaction to the exterior, you have to literally invert your reality, okay? So this is where it's like, sometimes when people are like, dude, it's so easy. Yes, first of all, yes, it is. But second of all, it can be a little bit of a mind fuck in the beginning because you're inverting the way you see the world, right? You're inverting your reality to where you see the external reality not as causation, but as the byproduct of the internal world. The internal world has created the entire external world. So the whole external world are just flight gauges, right? So if you have a certain number on your bank account, you have a certain partner, you have a certain job, right? These are all indicators of previous past thoughts. And that's really good because number one, it's not permanent, right? You don't want to have something fucking permanent that is horrible. That's why life is so good, because it's like, even if you fuck up, you can revise it, you can fix it. It's not permanent. So what happens is once you get this inverted thing, now when you go after something, you don't go at it from a linear perspective. You go at it from the, I already have it, and I'm letting this current reality fade and allowing the new reality to manifest. But my control pattern is not as focused on the external reality of, well, I got to send a fucking 1,000 emails. I got to go to the gym. It's of being. I am this version of myself now. So it's a lot more internal focus. You start to live more internally because instead of punching the computer screen, you have your hands on the keyboard now, right? You have your hands on the controller. You're not trying to reach through the screen and, manipulate the characters and things. You're playing the game with the controls that you have internally because that's the real power and real leverage, right? So when you live from the wish fulfilled and you adopt a wanted state, what you want to do is, if you have emotional, tactile ability to really feel into states, that's the best version. If you can detach your emotional states from your external reality and really have those under control, that's the best, right? But in the beginning, you may not have that perception and or that awareness cultivated yet to really modulate your energy field, right? Like, can you build an energy field around you and change and raise that frequency just by using your mind? You can, but it takes a little bit of time to get there. So what you want to do is start with affirmations, right? And the thing to think about is that the affirmation is not the actual thing that's going to cause you to get there, but a word is a label for a vibration. So if you're in poverty and you're going to wealth, and then you go, I am poor, I am rich, right? You see that those are just labels for different, if you go back to the David R. Hawkins scale of consciousness, they're different emotional bandwidths. So by labeling something and repeating it, you are banging in that vibration to your subconscious, right? I am rich, I am rich, I am wealthy, I am wealthy, I am wealthy, I am wealthy, I am wealthy. You're pressing the E key on the piano over and over and over and over and over again. And what happens is that starts to gain momentum. If you've ever read like Law of Attraction, starts to gain momentum, and then as it gains momentum, bam, 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 it externalizes. So that's how you rock, right? That's how you roll. And what the reason is for operating internally and operating from these states is it gives you a lot more creative control, because if you can master the affirmation and you can get the emotion right, what that means is that you are able to create emotions and thought patterns that have to have direct correlative reverberations to them. So you can really control the emotional quality of your life. And this is fucking huge, because It's not just about getting what you want. It's about getting what you want in a way that feels natural and good to you. If you want $10 million a month, but you have all of these chronic, habitual, emotional patterns and belief systems that you're going to have to kill yourself for it, then you may get it, but you're like, dude, I'm so tired. This is horrible. Now, where you can fix that is you can be like, I'm rich. I make money every day. Money keeps coming to me in easier and easier ways. Money is really fun for me because it always shows up in ways that are new and exciting to me. It's actually really easy for me to make money. Money is like the easiest thing in the entire world because it's like a fun little, coupon that I use at the arcade. And the cool thing about me is like I have insane amounts of money. It always keeps coming in. There's always money coming in 24/7. Like no matter what I do, money just keeps coming in. And like, I'm a guy who I sometimes feel like I just get paid to fucking exist. Like I'm in a totally different boat than most people. Like that's the story that you want to have consciously dominant, right? Because not only is it getting you the result, it's at the emotional capacity of where you can customize it to really fit whatever character you want to play, right? And don't take this too seriously. We're in a fucking big video game. So figure out what you want and then figure out the coolest, best, most fun way for it to be in relationship to you, right? Travel. I travel all the time. Traveling's super easy. The best thing about traveling is that I always get paid when I travel. I don't know. I just have a strong natural assumption that there's always like, it's really weird. Every time I go on a trip, I get paid a huge check. It's like 100%. Like that's the type of bullshit that when you focus, right? You're selectively ignoring unwanted realities. So when you selectively ignore an unwanted reality, what happens is you're essentially placing your awareness on what's wanted, meaning that, you're not battling other realities. You're just choosing the one that you want over and over and over again. So if you have an unwanted thought, there's two ways to do it and they both work, right? You go, I'm going to take this trip. You can't afford it. Classic, right? Fucking little bitch thought comes in, tries to fuck with you. You want to revise that on the spot. You want to be like, oh, good, I can't afford it. I'm actually the richest man in the entire fucking world. I have millions and millions of dollars, right? That you rewrite that thought, but then you don't fight it anymore. You rewrite it and then you go, okay, that's done. No, traveling is really easy for me. I actually travel all the time. You know what I mean? I have tons of money. You don't want to engage with things in a resistance point of mind. You want to simply select every single time because when you battle unwanted, you put engines onto unwanted. Your focus and your energy is power. So anytime you battle something unwanted, it's feeding off you, right? It's a fucking leech. It's feeding off you. The reason it keeps coming back into your purview is because it wants energy, right? It wants to grow. Everything wants to grow. So you don't feed it. You say, you're going on a diet, bitch. And then you just select the one that you want. And the reason that you select it very gently and very confidently and very neutrally is because everything that you put your attention on will gain momentum, right? So before you start to put your foot on the gas at 100 miles an hour, you make sure that you're in the right lane, right? And you just go, I'm in the right lane. 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 I'm in the sweet spot. 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 And you see how it goes like that? And that gives you much more macro control. And you can even change your affirmations to be like, I'm always in a great state. I'm always in a wanted state. I'm always getting what I want. I always get this, right? And that builds a bigger type of macro perception that is all wanted. And then once you have that macro kind of perception, then you can get really specific, but it's all within the purview of wanted. So that's how you basically embody a state, a mood, or an attitude. And the best way, now that I'm thinking about it, is to really go into those macro type of affirmations. Everything works out for me. Everything's perfect. Everything unfolds exactly the way I want it to, right? Because those aren't as exciting. But once you get those dominant, dude, everything goes your way. Everything is a reflection of your internal world. So this is why this shit is so fucking cool. Because it's like, dude, what have you wanted your whole life? Oh, I don't know, to create my life exactly the way I want it to with no one else's input. This is how you do it. So, that's a fucking great video. Like and subscribe. And then if you want extra stuff, there's a description full of different options of how you can talk to me. But other than that, just enjoy the videos. Go conquer your fucking reality. and only share wins with me. I just want to see you fuckers win everything. I want everything in my comment section just be like, dude won, got it. Dude won, got it. I am this person. I got it. I won. So good luck to you. I appreciate you guys and have a great weekend.